It's time to play. Let's rewind to yesterday. The fun begins, we're here to stay. Ready, set, replay.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ready, Set, Replay, the ultimate video game replay podcast. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler.
Here we go.
And today we're going to be talking about the last of in our block of Resident Evil games, Code Veronica. But Skyler, before we talk about Code Veronica, we gotta go back. It's time
to go back
for the rewind.
I feel like I spend more time in the year 2000 than I do anywhere else.
Well, the year 2025, not a great one to be in, so I'd rather be in 2000. When we get to 2001, that may no longer be the case, but right now, I'd rather go back.
All right, let's go to 2000.
Back to 2000. Whoa. We're going specifically back to Tuesday, March 28th of the year 2000. Here are some things that had just happened. On the 21st, NSYNC released their most famous album, No Strings Attached.
Oh.
This is the album that featured Bye Bye Bye, It's Gonna Be May, and This I Promise You. There were a bunch of other albums that came out, none of them that big, on account of No Strings Attached was one of the biggest albums of the year. But Dio also put out Magica, Pantera put out Reinventing the Steel, Ice Cube put out War and Peace Volume 2, and Death Cab for Cutie put out We Have the Facts and We're Voting Yes, which is not a good name for an album.
It's long, yeah, but
Yeah.
all right.
The Billboard Top 5 are, I think we've talked about all of these before, so I'll run through it real fast. Number 1 is Say My Name by Destiny's Child. Number 2, Maria Maria by Santana. Number 3, Breathe by Faith Hill. Number 4, Amazed by Lone Star. And number 5, coming in just in time, the only new one on the list, Bye 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 from NSYNC.
There it is.
In the world of movies, 3 movies will be released in this window. Aaron Brockovich, Final Destination, and on the 31st, a little bit after this, The Road to El Dorado.
What a triple feature we got on there.
It's truly strange combo. It's a sort of funny drama, I guess also sort of funny horror movie, and then a children's animated cartoon.
You know what pisses me off? Road to El Dorado is not streaming anywhere right now.
Is it not? I don't even.
No,
Is that a Disney
recording?
Movie? Who owns
It is
that?
not. I think it's a DreamWorks movie.
Couldn't tell you.
Which there's a lot of DreamWorks stuff on Peacock, I think. So why it's not there, I do not know. They should add it so I can watch it.
Yeah, it is a good one. I remember enjoying it, although I haven't seen it in a long time.
Did you watch Aaron Brockovich for this?
I did, yeah. It's
What
on.
did you think?
It's on Peacock.
Hey,
So,
there you go.
there you go. It's really good, unsurprisingly. I think
Yeah,
it wins a lot of
it's good.
awards at the end of the year. I'm not sure, but I feel like that's true. It's one of those movies that I've heard about forever and did not ever see. And yeah, it's really good. Like I had to make the choice basically between watching Aaron Brockovich or watching the WCW pay-per-view that happened around the same time, and I chose Aaron Brockovich, and I definitely chose correctly.
You probably chose correctly.
I definitely chose correctly.
I think it's a good movie.
I like it a lot.
Maybe I'm not the hugest Julia Roberts fan in the world, but she's really good in this. Based on a true story of a woman who stands on business, and we love to see it. What did you think of Aaron Eckhart's hair?
Aaron Eckhart's hair.
Yeah, he's the boyfriend. He's the biker boyfriend. He's Two-Face from
Right.
Dark Knight.
Not great.
No.
I'll be real with you, that character irked me at multiple parts in the movie. I think when he leaves her, it's like, brother, grow up.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I yearn for the roads. He wants to like hop on his Harley and ride again,
That-
basically.
That shot where he sees the bikers drive by and he's like at the park with the kids or whatever, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, the road, it calls me."
I don't know.
What
But
a goofball.
ultimately he was a good guy, so it works out.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Good movie.
Really good movie. Yeah.
Vitalization is not as good a movie, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. The 72nd Academy Awards happened 2 days prior, and I believe we've already talked about one of the movies on here extensively. The big winners were American Beauty, that took away 5 awards, and The Matrix, which took away 4. It was also hosted by Billy Crystal, which is, I think, pretty telling of the time.
He did that a lot.
Yeah, specifically in this time frame.
Yeah. You should do it again. One last ride.
Yeah, why not? Well, not right now, actually. I'd rather have Conan.
Yeah, we got Conan. So he needs to stick around for a little bit longer, and then give us one last ride.
Yeah. The box office is similar to what we've already talked about. Number 1 is Aaron Brockovich, after having just come out like 6 days ago. It was immediately shooting up to the top.
Julia had the power back then.
Number 2 is Romeo Must Die, which I'm not familiar with. Number 3, Final Destination. Number 4, Mission to Mars, which we've talked about before. It is falling down the list. And number 5,
Yeah.
still in theaters, American Beauty, presumably getting a boost from having won so many awards.
Probably. That makes sense.
I looked it up. American Beauty was in theaters from September of 99 to June of 2000. It was in theaters for 10 full months.
It was a different time.
Yeah. We didn't have streaming services, so
No,
there's nowhere else to put it. And people, I guess, were still watching it because it's still number 5 at the box office.
you have to decide and make plans to go see a movie within the first 3 weeks it's out, or else it will disappear.
Or it will die. Something pretty big historically happened, but not a good thing. On the 26th, the same day as the Academy Awards, Vladimir Putin was elected president of Russia.
Wow.
Yep.
25 years.
I didn't look it up. I do believe there was somebody else in the middle there for a little bit, but yes, for the majority of that time.
5 years.
Yeah. And then the final thing I have is that WCW pay-per-view that I talked about. There's really nothing to talk about at it except the main event. WCW Uncensored, the main event of which was a post NWO Hulk Hogan. He's back to the red and yellow.
Oh, good.
In a match against Ric Flair. It is a Yapapai Indian strap match. Now you may be asking, Daniel, what's a Yapapai Indian strap? Well, it's mostly a word that Hulk Hogan made up, seemingly on accident during a promo.
Wonder what he was trying to say.
I don't know. I listened to the promo. So he's back. Jimmy Hart is managing him again. And Jimmy Hart got jumped by Lex Luger, who is in a tag team with Ric Flair right now called Team Package, because he's the total package.
Oh, right. Makes sense.
And so he had just jumped Jimmy Hart, and Hulk Hogan is going on a rant about like, when Jimmy Hart was in the back of that slow moving coffin, which I guess is an ambulance, he whispered out one final word. He said, "Yapapa." Brother,
That doesn't seem like something Jimmy Hart would say.
If he did,
was
it's
on
not
lots
what he
of
meant to say.
morphine. Yeah.
So it's so okay. The way he talks about it implies that he means like South Asian Indian. I don't think that's correct. From what everyone online is saying, I think it is a mispronunciation of a real Native American tribe called the Yavapai, which of course have absolutely nothing to do with leather straps or wrestling.
Right.
So it's just
Now,
a weird thing that's happening here.
Now, call me crazy. Upon hearing that Hulk Hogan coined the term Yapapai Indian strap match,
Yeah.
at no point did it cross my mind that he did not mean Native Americans.
Yeah, no, for sure he probably meant it, but it's weird. Yeah. It's weird. The way he talks about it, I don't know, man. Either way, the straps just look like weightlifting straps, like belts. And it is just a normal strap match, by which I mean it is Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair tied together via a long leather strap, and you have to touch all four corners to win, which is why it may irritate you but not surprise you to hear that Hulk Hogan did win by pinfall.
The 2000s WCW was a magical place, Daniel.
Yeah.
And by magic, I mean the worst thing ever.
He hit him with a leg drop because he's got the shittest leg drop I've ever seen in my life.
Did you watch the match?
Yeah, I did watch the match.
Okay. So did anyone on commentary, do you remember, did anyone complain? Did Tony Schiavone say, like, that's not how you win the match, but then it just ended anyways?
At the beginning of the match, they both go for pins, and the people do call it out then, and then when he wins with it, they don't.
You know,
so,
if they don't care, why should we, right?
So the only, like, even minor saving grace is that after he gets up from the pin, he does touch the fourth corner. So, like, I guess they just rung the bell too early, maybe. I don't know. He does look a little annoyed. Like, it doesn't look like that's how it was supposed to go. It does look like it was a mess up. And the guy just shouldn't have counted the pin because it wasn't how you win the match. But, like, I don't know. It was incredibly stupid.
Well, in times like this, you have to remember the eternal words of a wrestling legend and hero, Iron Sheik. Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
And with that, perfect representation of the time period. Skyler, how do you feel? What are your very top level thoughts on Resident Evil Code Veronica?
It's more Resident Evil.
Correct.
It's I don't know. I'm baffled by this one. What are you thinking?
I actually really like this one.
Did you? Did you
I
you
do.
liked it? I saw your rating for it on the app we both use.
On GG. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
follow me
Um,
there if you want. It's Daniel J. McG, just like it is everywhere else. Yeah, I quite enjoyed this one. I think this is the one that feels the most like Resident Evil 4, which is where I started in the series. I think there is a lot of the DNA of this that carries over into that. Obviously, 4 is better.
yeah.
Um, but I think this has a lot of that same vibe. I also think that the combat of this is the first one that I felt genuinely stressed out about. Like, this is the first time that the survival horror thing even hit me. It was the first time that I was concerned about running out of healing stuff or
Oh,
bullets or
yeah,
anything like
that's
that.
true. I definitely felt that as
That
well.
never happened to me in the first ones. It's got its problems, and we'll definitely talk about that. I
Yeah.
think the opening segment is just particularly weak. The voice acting is bad, like really bad again. But
They
I do
they
think it's
kind of
bad in a fun way.
yes, it's campy. They kind of backslide. I feel like we were on a upward trajectory of obviously Resident Evil 1, the voice acting was goofy.
Right.
And then we get a little bit better with 2, and then 3's equally a little bit better, and then here I feel like we go back 3 to 4 steps.
Yeah. I will say, and this is something that I did touch on when we talked about Nemesis 3.
Hmm.
It is very clear to me at this point, and I did research into this that I can throw in here if you'd like. It is very
Hmm.
clear to me that this was at some point supposed to be the third one. Like, this
Yeah.
is way more of a like continuation of the story than 3 was.
My well, first I'll say I will actually now give you my surface level thoughts, and then we can definitely go into that.
Yeah.
When I was struggling, I do like this game. I guess I was just struggling on like how to say like what level I like this game. Less than you, I think, but
Fair.
I still I think this is it's fun at points. I like the campiness of it. I like the settings. We go to two very different places.
Yeah.
And yes, I also believe it has issues and parts of this game really pissed me off.
That's fair.
But yeah, I'm glad we played it.
For sure. Yeah.
I've said before, me and a mutual friend of ours had a running joke back in high school about how this game was shit. I do not believe this game is shit, like at all.
No.
But I
Yeah.
do think it is probably, and this might be surprising, my least favorite of the 4 we've played in this marathon block.
Ooh. See, I do disagree with that.
Because yours would be Resident Evil 3, right? You would put that below this?
Yes.
Would you
Yeah.
put this above Resident Evil 1?
I think I don't know. I think I enjoyed it more, but I don't think it's better. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's a tough spot.
Like, I don't think it's a better game. I don't know that I will end up scoring it better than 1, but I would be
Mhm.
more interested in replaying this. I would be more interested in replaying this later, probably than I would be to replay Resident Evil 2.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting.
Mostly because I just don't want to get chased by Mr. X again.
Oh yeah,
So,
I agree with that.
but yeah, okay. So the reason that I think that this is very clearly the like true continuation of Resident Evil 2 is a complicated thing. I did a lot of research into this. There's actually a book written on the subject by a guy called Alex O'Neill. He did a bunch of research into what happened around this time in Capcom, and so that's where basically all this information I'm about to tell you came from.
Mhm.
So after Resident Evil 2, Capcom greenlit 5 Resident Evil projects just immediately because 2 was a huge success. 1 was good and was like, okay, this is a series we're going to continue doing. 2 was the one that like broke into mainstream success, and they were like, okay, this is what we're Capcom's the Resident Evil company now. This ended up causing a huge strain on the team, and a lot of the games that they made during this period like either did not come out well or were dramatically changed by the time they did. The 5 games that were greenlit was one called Gun Survivor, which came out perfectly how they intended it to, but only in Japan, because it was intended to be like a light gun game, and they didn't want to feel comfortable releasing it in America. We ended up getting it later, but without the light gun aspect of it, like way later, because at the time that they would have released it in America, the Columbine shooting had just happened, and they didn't want to encourage kids to have guns in their house. They didn't think that
Well,
would be a good idea.
at least I
Because
thought about that.
that was also the
Yeah.
time when people were like, video games make people want to kill each other, and that's like obviously been disproven 1,000 times by now. But at the time, I guess there was some real concern about it, so they were like, we're just not going to do it. And also, Gun Survivor was a bad game, so frankly, it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Mhm.
Then you had Resident Evil 0, which was going to be an N64 exclusive, and it got put on hold for a really long time until the GameCube came out, because they were basically like, what we want to do with this can't be done on the N64. It's not strong enough. And so then it got put on ice because they had all these other projects going. And when the GameCube came out, they were like, now we can finally do it again.
Right.
Then there was Resident Evil 1.9, which was a Raccoon City spin-off game, action game that eventually became 3 Nemesis. And then Hideki... There was also a Saturn port of RE2. That was the other one. It got completely canceled. And then the one that eventually sort of became this one, I think, it's confusing, was... Or no, sorry. This didn't become this one. Hideki Kamiya was working on what was called Kamiya's Boat Project. It's a stupid name, and it was never really officially called that, but that's what they refer to it as in the book. And that one was originally going to be RE3, and that's not this one. It was going to be a story about Hunk on like a boat, on a yacht, like a ridiculously big yacht. Huh. And it ended up being like way too ambitious, and it wouldn't work on the PS1, and they didn't want to wait for it to come out on PS2. So they had to come up with a new one, which ended up being Code Veronica. And this kept getting pushed and reworked and pushed and reworked forever until it eventually was going to be Resident Evil 4. But at that point, it had become such a different game that it instead actually became Devil May Cry.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that one's confusing. But so that one was originally supposed to be 3. And when the Saturn port got canceled, they were like, okay, well, we need to do something for Sega. We have a contract with them that's like, we have to make a game for Sega. Because they had a thing with PlayStation that was like, we have to put out another game for them, which is why 3 was a PlayStation exclusive. They had a thing with Nintendo that they had to make a game for them, which is why 0 was originally a Nintendo exclusive, and they had one with Sega. So the Dreamcast had like just come out or was about to come out when they started making this, and it was a lot more powerful, and so they could do a lot more things. And so a lot of the ideas that had been, I think, a part of the Kamiya Boat project ended up being turned into this. But the only reason that this game was not called Resident Evil 3 is because it was on the Dreamcast. And the Dreamcast had such a small install base, being the last console of a dying company, that they thought it was a more financially viable decision to make the one that was being put on the market dominant console 3. Does that make sense? Did I explain that well?
Yeah, yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I can see their line of thought there. I think that does make sense.
There's actually a quote in the book from Alex and Neil, and it says, the reason for going with a subtitle rather than a number essentially came down to console war politics. The idea was to keep numbered games on Sony and use different names for games made for Sega and Nintendo. This was a quote from Akamoto, who was one of the people in charge of Resident Evil at the time. And it was a quote that he said in 2017. So this game, I do feel, even though it was never officially Resident Evil 3, I do still think this is Resident Evil 3 for me, I think, going forward. Because this is the one that is the most important to the story. I truly think you could skip 3 Nemesis and miss nothing. The only thing that you would need to know that happened in that game is that Raccoon City exploded.
And Jill escaped it.
Well, yeah, but even if you didn't play it, you would assume that Jill wasn't in the city, because in 2, it said that she had left to go to Europe with Chris.
I suppose that's fair. Yeah, that's true.
So the only thing really that you would need to know is that Raccoon City no longer exists. Whereas this has a ton of stuff.
This is definitely, this not being numbered is definitely a slight detriment to the series, because if you don't play this, certain things in 4 and 5 definitely don't make sense. Like Wesker
being alive. Yeah.
Yeah, him being. I mean, I don't remember if there's like a tease of him disappearing or getting away in the first one. Was there? I don't remember.
No, in Resident Evil 1, he just dies and then he's dead on the ground.
It's knocked out. For me, Barry punched his lights out and we just left him. So,
right, fair.
But yeah, in this, it definitely does a better job of him showing up, explaining that he's got superpowers now, and he basically looks at you dead through the camera and says, "I will be a problem later." So you never actually fight him.
He says, "I'll see you in 5. Goodbye."
Yeah, I'll be a problem in not the next game, but the next game.
Yeah. Yeah. The next time
alright.
Chris is important, so will I be.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, it's fine. Makes sense.
Wesker really is Chris's enemy, which I didn't know until now.
Yes.
That is the rivalry.
Yeah.
I thought he was
Which
just the main
which
character.
adds more to your theory originally when we played RE1 that you think playing as Chris makes the most sense.
I feel like the Redfields and maybe more specifically Chris are the main characters of Resident Evil at this point.
At this well, yeah, I mean, I guess 4 will change that because that's the
I-
Leon show.
4 is the best one, and so I agree with that sentiment. But I would counter that with in Resident Evil 1, he's a playable character. He's not the only playable character, but he's one of them. In 2, one of the playable characters is his sister who's looking for him. Then you play as him in Code Veronica. You don't play as him in 3, but you play as whatever.
Yeah.
But you play as him in Code
Well,
Veronica.
again, you're saying like 3 is more like 2.5 anyway.
Well, it was originally 1.9. Then you play as him in Code Veronica. You don't see him in 4. You play as him in 5. I don't know anything about 6, and then he's in 7 and 8.
You do play as him in 6.
Okay, so you play as him in
But
6.
to be fair,
and he's in 7
you play
and he
as
plays him in 8.
you play as almost goddamn everyone in 6.
That's fair. That's definitely fair.
You play as well, I guess I won't spoil some of it, but you play there's 3 campaigns, not including like a little Ada campaign as well.
Oh, cool.
There's the Chris campaign, there's the Leon campaign, and then there's the third character's campaign, which involves an adult Sherry Birkin.
Right. That one I did know about. I think we've talked about that before. But so Chris is playable in like the majority of the mainline games.
Yeah, you play as him as 8 too
Yeah.
for a second.
So I would say, even though Leon is my favorite character, I think
Yes.
Chris is the main character of Resident Evil, which I did
think
not
that's
know.
fair.
I did not
He's the
think
one-
that before.
He's the one that they put in Marvel vs. Capcom.
I think Jill's in that too, isn't she?
They might have put Jill. They definitely put Chris and Wesker, and I think Jill might be in it. I do not remember.
Right. So yeah, so like this one feels so crucial. It's crazy to me that this is not a numbered series because this one feels so crucial to the continued story of Resident Evil. Because obviously I didn't know really the story up until this, but this was the last of the like main-ish line ones that I hadn't played. I guess not including 6, but like I played obviously 4, 5, 7, and 8. And so like I obviously know where the story goes going forward. And this I feel like sets up so much of that. And also it feels like it caps off the story of the first 2, where it's like, okay, Wesker's back, we do the mansion again, we finally get Chris and Claire together, which they've been trying to get together since 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's so much of it where it's like this feels like it is the culmination of the first trilogy and the beginning of a second trilogy.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I mean? Also, and I'll say this, and this might be controversial, I love the villains in this. I think they're awful.
Wait a minute. That was a. I just got whiplash.
It's true. It's true. And
yeah,
I meant every word of it.
You're right. You're very much right. I do also like the Ashford twins.
Is that the same name as the lady from 9?
No, that's Ashcroft.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
I didn't play Resident Evil Survivor, so I don't know her mom.
Well, she wasn't. It wasn't Survivor. It was
No, Outbreak. Excuse
Yeah.
me.
Right, because I saw their name pop up and I was like, "Is that the one?" And then I never looked it up, and I should have, but I
No,
didn't.
it's not.
It's like
it's not.
Ashcroft as opposed to Ashford.
I think the lady from Outbreak is Ashcroft, and so is her daughter, and these are the Ashfords.
Right. Actually,
Alexia
originally,
and Alfred.
I did learn this in my research that Alexia and Alfred were originally supposed to be Nazis, which I feel like still comes through.
Yeah, they're definitely little snotty Aryan children.
But so they were going to be called the Krugers, and it was going to be Hilda and Hilgar. What was it? Hold on, I've got it in my notes.
And then someone just said, "Don't do Nazis."
Basically, like when it was pitched, they were Nazis that had like escaped. And then they were like the top people were like, just make them. What if you just make them awful?
Argentina?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess. It's an island off the coast of Argentina. But obviously, like a lot of the German stuff still comes through. Like the guns that you use for all their stuff are Lugers, and the tank is a German tank, and there's a lot of like the symbology and stuff is still very German in nature. So like
Mhm.
a lot of that still carries through. Also, when you combine that, it does kind of imply that maybe the first area of the game is supposed to be like an internment camp stand-in, which is not great. But you know, that's just me projecting at that
That
point.
maybe that's what happened. Maybe like some form of censorship came in where they were like, "Hey, do you realize that that's what this implies? Let's not do that."
Yeah, that's fair. And it's also, I think, why they're so obsessed with like genetics and being like the superior race
Yeah.
and all that. And then there's also
Yes.
the like they love torture. And there's that one weird bit with like the what is it the God, he's that one zombie. They give him a name in like he has a diary. It's like the anatomist or something. The guy who you get the glass eye from. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
He's like a special zombie.
The Nazi scientist guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah.
In
Um,
the little doctor's room.
So I do feel like a lot of that does still carry over. Like I would have guessed that they were German and were like Nazi adjacent, even if I had never read that piece of trivia. So they stripped it out, but only in name. You know what I mean? We played. I'm assuming you played the same version I did. So you played Resident
Code
Evil
Veronica X.
Code Veronica X, which is like the
Yeah.
HD remake that was released later on.
I think it came out like a year or two after the original.
Code
And
Veronica
then
X came out on PS2, and then the version that I played technically is an HD remaster of that came out later on 360.
yeah, and it has like almost no I think there's no gameplay differences, just cutscene differences.
Yeah, so it adds 3 cutscenes, all of which have to do with Wesker.
Right.
So the cutscene where he like talks to Claire, that's
Mhm.
from X. The cutscene where he fights Alexia,
Yeah, when
that's
he does like the Matrix run up the wall.
which is the coolest thing in the world. It's
Yeah,
so
that's from
metal.
X.
He does fight her in that sort of in the original version. Well, he doesn't like fight her, but he meets her and then says all the stuff about like I'm here to be like you need to come with me, and then she turns into her monster. And she's like gotta go.
Yeah,
And then the fight at the end between him and Chris. Those are the 3 new cutscenes.
makes sense.
And then the only other thing that changed from what I found is that they changed Steve's hair because people were complaining that he looked too much like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, hang on. I need to look at this.
So they changed up his hair a little bit to be more of a swoopy hair instead of like a center part type deal.
Oh, I see. Yeah, he has the Leo Titanic haircut
Yeah.
in the original. That's interesting. Can I just say, awful hair either way.
I don't know. Like it's fine. I think it's very like of the time.
You,
So I'm not like
you know what? We're on
confused
it
by
now. Let's talk about Steve.
Yeah.
I d- hate is such a strong word,
Right.
so I won't use the word hate. I heavily disliked this whiny little boy bander.
He's really annoying, but I kind of love him. You know what I mean? Like he is
I
terrible objectively.
I okay. I think he was bad in a harmless way until he tried to kiss Claire. Then I'm like, you get out of here.
So he did try to kiss Claire, but we do at that point know that she also has feelings for him. So I'm not put
Yeah,
out by it.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, I mean that's an issue of the writing, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not put out by it. Like I get it. I like the sort of like tragic story that he has. I think I think hopefully when this gets its RE remake
remake.
situation
Yeah.
and he gets good voice acting, I think that
Yep.
we're both going to turn like completely around on him because I
Sure,
think
and I'm
if you tell
completely
that
open to that.
story, if you tell that story with like more sincerity, I think it becomes a lot better. But yeah, it's the voice acting that I think really messes it up for me. And I think maybe if they had like 1 or 2 more scenes before he tries to kiss her, that would make it feel less weird.
Yeah. Also, I guess we're going full story spoilers.
Sure.
This game's 25 years old, so come on.
Yeah. So I
But
guess.
his exit from the game, the story, the franchise, his death,
Mhm.
kind of just like it happened so quickly, and then he
It's-
was gone.
It is the first death of a playable character in the series.
Oh yeah, I guess we did play as him, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
For like 2 minutes,
Yeah. But still, technically speaking, first death of a player character.
technically speaking.
So that's kind of cool. I don't know. His story is very tragic. It's because it's like his father was working for Umbrella as just like a guy, and he found out about the evil, and he tried to narc about it, but got caught.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went missing, and Umbrella kidnapped Steve and his mom, but they only like needed one of them to be like bait for the dad. So they killed his mom in front of him, and then his dad tried to come and rescue him, and they just infected him. And then they were like, well, we still have Steve. I guess we'll just keep him and torture him until he gets out.
I mean, that's probably a byproduct of them like knowing him and listening to him talk.
That's fair. Although, to be fair, the people who would have been doing it, Alfred, have no room to talk. They are just as bad in terms of the voice acting.
That's true.
The Alfred laugh will haunt my nightmares.
Well, the Alexia laugh is not much better.
Sure.
For how much she does it.
The Alfred Alexia laugh or the Alexia laugh?
It's, you know what?
Because they are different.
They're all in the same category, but you are right. They're different.
Man.
Wesker did some stupid laughs in this too.
He's so
maniacal
dumb,
laughter,
and I love it. He's doing Matrix shit. He jumps 40 feet in the air at one point. He's running on the walls. He's punching demons. This is the coolest Wesker's ever been.
also, so in the 2 installments that we've had Wesker in, the first one and in this one. So the first one, he did his little secret plan, and it just failed. Right? He was stopped. In this one, he showed up to get shit done, and he got nothing done.
No, because he got Steve's body.
Oh.
That's what he's saying at the end when he's talking to Chris, is like, because the T. Veronica virus, there's still a part of it that's in... Or does he call it? I think he calls it the T. Alexia virus in that cutscene. I don't know if that's a different thing. But he got some part of the virus that was in Steve's body, and he absconded with it.
All right, well...
And then he's also like, we might bring back Steve, and I don't think they do.
No, they better not.
I don't believe they do. He's definitely not in any of the mainline ones.
No.
At least not. Maybe he shows up in 6. I wouldn't know.
Maybe he's in 9.
That's
not Lisa Trevor in the trailer. That's Steve.
That's Steve. I would laugh so hard.
Oof.
It would make my whole day. I will say, I think the opening section of this is rough. I think everything up until you're like done with the palace / training facility, whatever, military. I think all of that is a little rough.
I thought when you said opening section, I thought you meant the cutscene.
Oh no, the opening cutscene's dope.
See, upon booting the game up, I could only think like this is everything we kind of complained about in 3. How 3 steers so heavily into being an action game, and then here's Claire, who was just a girl. Like, granted, she went through some shit and she got shit done, but she is just a girl.
She's a college student.
But she's doing all this John McClane shit, making explosions, jumping across helicopters, whatever, all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like, on its own, it's just like, oh, wow, that's cool. But, like, in the series, I'm like, wow, this is a bit much.
You're definitely right. I think that I have more forgiveness for it in this than I did in 3 because the gameplay didn't support that, which I guess maybe is extra stupid. But she's doing all that in the opening cutscene, and then you get to the gameplay, and it feels very survival horror. Whereas 3 to me was more like you just had so much ammo.
You're right.
So I don't know. It was stupid, but like an enjoyable stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It definitely does fall into that trap of like, this is very action movie in a thing that is not traditionally an action movie.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying for sure.
But yeah, the opening island bit.
Not the whole island. I think once you get to the first like sort of boss fight, the Bandersnatch boss fight, I think from that point on it becomes better. Up until that point, and I think it's because I really only had the handgun for most of it. It felt like I was almost out of ammo the entire time. I didn't know where to go because it felt like there were so many options of where to go. But like, it became annoying because normally having a ton of options in video games is a good thing because you can go and do whatever you want. But in this game where you have such limited resources and you keep going back and forth to places and the enemies respawn and so you have to deal with them again with the very limited amount of stuff that you have to deal with them.
The respawning to me was, I was mad about
There's that one courtyard that's like between the cemetery and the bridge and whatever the other thing there is, that you have to go through like 20 times, or at least I went through a bunch of times at the beginning. Where
Yeah.
every time I went in there, it was repopulated with like 3 dudes. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Also, I feel like it maybe I would just like wasn't counting in the previous games. I feel like it takes so much more ammo to put a zombie down in this.
Oh, definitely.
It like the bow gun is definitely way weaker, but even the
Yeah.
pistol feels like it just takes so much longer. Eventually, you get the upgrade and then they go down pretty fast. But at first, I feel like it's taking like 10 bullets to take down one zombie.
The bow gun eats through ammo like a motherfucker, and it's only viable if you're up against like one zombie that's kind of far away, because it does not stun or stagger them at all. He just keeps walking towards you.
I had success with it a couple of times. Just I ended up
definitely-
using it just because I had so much ammo for it by the end.
Yes, I did the same
But
thing.
what it's really used for is the explosive ammo.
Which
Because
I
that
don't
shit
think
dominates.
it gives you enough.
Like
It gives you,
Well, 'cause it's
and
a
I
boss
understand.
weapon.
Yes, it's like, oh, conserve this, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
But I never used it for bosses. I used it for like crowd control of like, oh, there's 6 zombies in this hallway. Okay, I'll just fire 6 of these.
Oh, is it that bridge that goes up to like the special palace? Is that what you're talking about?
There were a couple places, yeah.
Yeah. That thing absolutely melted and this is called the gulp worm when you have to fight him as Chris.
Sure.
I shot him I think like 6 times and he went down. It was great.
Oh, I just unloaded constantly with that assault rifle he has.
I don't even remember this. I truly don't even remember him having an assault
I think
rifle.
it's what Chris just shows up with. He just has one.
That makes sense. Because I know right before that. I think this game has both incredibly good boss fights and really bad boss fights. Where I think so you've got the Bandersnatch fight, and that's like whatever. I end up cheesing it by just going up and down the stairs over and over again. He like never really hit me.
Right.
The tyrant fight in the like hallway, because you fight the tyrant twice, and I think the first one is lame and the second one is kind of cool but like really hard.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that? Because apparently that's a place where a lot of people get soft locked because they just like don't have what they need to kill him.
I did not get soft locked. I don't know. I mean, we're if we can toot our own horn here, we're veterans now. Like
I guess
we've
so.
done enough. We've done enough Resident Evils that we know, like, oh, this is a good weapon. Better save that.
Yeah.
So I had. You're talking about the plane part, right?
Right, where like you have to hit. I'm still not 100% sure how it works. Because you have to do a certain amount of damage. I think you have to do a certain amount of damage to him before you pull a lever and you like shoot a crate at him to push him out the back of the plane.
Yeah.
And I think you have to do a certain amount of damage to him, but it might also be that he has to be like a certain amount of distance back in the plane. I'm not sure.
Don't know about that either. I think I got lucky.
Yeah.
Because I immediately pulled the thing, shot the box at him, and then I was like, okay. Then I started unloading with whatever I had, probably grenade launcher stuff. And then by the time he tossed me around a little bit, and then by the time that the button was ready, I was like, okay, I gotta push it again. And I think I was thinking like, oh, do I have to like get him down, like drop him to a knee and then hit him with it, or do I need
That's
to
what I was
like
thinking too.
have him catch it and then maybe shoot him afterwards? I don't know. But then by the time that I pushed the button the second time, he just knocked his ass out of the plane.
Yeah, I just killed him. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Which made me feel weird because I was like, did I use too much ammo on him? You know what I mean? Because I had used, I think, 10 of the exploding crossbow bolts on him, and then I also shot him a bunch with the, I still had the like, submachine guns, and I used the remaining, like, 30% of that I had before I used it. I was like, is that too much? Should I reload and use less ammo on him? And I ended up just deciding not to, because I was like, yeah, he's gone. Whatever, man.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I think that boss fight is genuinely pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it better than previous Tyrant fights, I think. Then what is it? Because you do...
There's Nosferatu.
There's Nosferatu. Yeah, Nosferatu's... That's what I was trying to figure out, is if Nosferatu is before the worm, and he is. The Nosferatu fight is dope. I love the Nosferatu fight.
Yes. I will give credit where credit's due. That was really neat, and it was really just like you have this scoped weapon and it zooms in, and it's so like foggy, misty up there that you can't see, and then he's very slowly shambling through. I think his range on his little spitting attacks is just a little
much.
too far
Yeah.
for that, because And I had the same problem with Alexia later in both times that you end up fighting her, where like, well, especially
The
where you have to
the
get a shot
last
on her in the last one
the last boss fight is the worst boss fight.
because you have to
Yeah.
again use the scoped weapon and then get a shot like lined
Yeah.
up, but she does her attacks so quickly, so ranged that like you can't really find her in the scope easily.
Right.
That one, I guess
Did
gets a bit of a
you
pass because you only need to hit her once.
did you kill Nosferatu with the sniper and get the bonus cutscene?
No, I must not have. I don't think I did. I think I ran out of sniper ammo.
So if you kill him with either the sniper or your knife, then she has her like one liner that all the heroes get when they take out a boss. It's something stupid. It's just like, oh, I got you now, and then like blows his heart out the back of his chest. Whereas when you beat him normally, he just falls over, and then you go and save Steve.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
did that.
so,
Speaking of
but
bonus cutscenes or bonus things,
yeah,
so I got this thing that I guess is optional, where by the time that I ended that fight, I was poisoned,
right. Me too.
and so you had to do the bit where when Chris finds Claire, he has to go get her a little vial of heal me poison thing.
Right. Yeah. Another callback to RE1.
Yeah, I guess, but that seems so pointless.
It is for sure. It is.
That's just like, oh, you just gave me optional busy work.
Yeah. It's not far away, so it's not terrible. And I think you do basically have to go that way anyway, because you have to go back to that room to drain that one water thing. So you really just have to go down the elevator like an extra time. It's not
Yeah.
like super bad, but it is annoying. Like you're definitely right.
One of the things kind of going back to that, and as you've mentioned before, how you had to go through the same area 20 times.
There was a lot
One
of
thing that I was definitely rolling my eyes at a bunch by the end was just the amount of backtracking in this. I feel is
Yeah.
worse than just about any of the other three we've played.
It does feel that way. It definitely was for me because I didn't know what I was doing like at all. And so I definitely went back and forth a ton. Especially in that early area. I feel like once I like was done, I don't know. For sure Antarctica I didn't really have to do like any backtracking, but that whole opening section up until the first time I went to the submarine base, yeah, I was wandering aimlessly for a lot of that.
There's just so much like, all right, I hope you remembered to bring this or else you got to go back to some of the puzzle and item placement and item uses were kind of bonkers to me.
It's
Like,
yeah,
I feel
agree.
like a lot of the time, not every time, but a lot of the time, like environmentally, if something is somewhere, it makes sense in the world. With the odd exception of like, oh, there's a valve that you need and it's in the attic for no reason.
Sure.
But like the example I'm going to use here is the empty fire extinguisher canister. So in the context of the story of this game,
Yeah.
Claire gets a fire extinguisher and she uses it to put out a fire. And then it becomes the empty fire extinguisher, which you just throw in the box.
Right.
And then later, in Antarctica, Briss has to pull out the empty fire extinguisher, fill it up, and put out a different fire. Which means, like, listen, it doesn't matter. It's just a video game. It doesn't
Right.
matter. But, like, if you're thinking, like, in the context, did Chris find this empty fire extinguisher canister and be like, I might need this? And he carried it to Antarctica.
She threw it in a box and he was just like, oh, I guess I'll take that with me. Yeah, it's weird.
insane.
There's definitely some like really confusing stuff like that when you consider the being able to trade items between characters with the item box. Because there's also one of the like upgrade cases or whatever that you can get that only Claire can unlock that you find as Chris, and you have to put it in the bin, and then she just like I guess pulls it out and unlocks it.
There's certain points where by the end when you're switching between characters, like everything's in the box unless the other character was holding it.
Right.
So like if you think you need the Magnum, you better pray it's in the box and not on the other character.
Yeah, I think I got for the most part lucky with that, except at one point Claire had I basically broke it down to like Chris has the Magnum and Claire has the exploding crossbow. And that served me pretty well. And then the grenade launcher went between them.
Like right at the very end, there's like those hooks on the wall that you can put the shotgun on.
Yeah.
But Chris had the shotgun, so like I couldn't do that.
Well, you go back
I don't.
afterwards as Chris.
I didn't. I never went back in that room.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I
So,
don't
because
think so.
because that's after the first Alexia fight, right? And then she goes up, Claire goes up there, and then you go and you fight or run away from Mutant Steve.
Which,
When,
by the way,
yes.
Mutant Steve. First of all, yes, he becomes the Hulk, and yes, it's cool that he uses the big axe that we've been seeing the whole time.
I was confused by whose axe that was. I guess it's Alexia's.
Don't know, just some sort of ceremonial thing. I don't
It's
know.
huge, though.
But you're gonna get hit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You cannot. So if you just don't take health items,
Right.
you're toast. You need, I think, at least 2.
You need to,
And
like,
you
full
better
heals.
you better be like fully sprinting the entire time.
The only apparently you can like bug him out, but yeah, to play it like straight, you have to. The only reason I didn't die there is because our friend Christian warned me and was like, "Yeah, take some heals with you on that." I was talking to him on Discord
Yeah.
at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, you should." Hey, this part is about to suck, actually.
What were you about to say about Mutant Steve?
Oh, yeah. So she fights Mutant Steve, and then she's like basically done for the game.
Yeah.
And then Chris goes. I forget exactly how he gets there. It's like through some other back way, but you end up in that same hallway, and that's where you go to like do the final fight. And if you just go the
Right.
other way, then you put the shotgun on there, and it opens up because I went there because I wanted to get the item box that was in that room.
Mm.
And so you put the shotgun on there, and it just opens a painting, and there's like 3 sets of grenade rounds back there. It's like acid
Oh, I
rounds
see.
and normal grenade rounds, and I think fire rounds, maybe.
I see.
So
I didn't end up using in the final fight. I ended up just using all the magnum ammo because I had not used it up to that point,
oh, okay.
and I used the submachine guns, which I was saving.
At that point I didn't have any of the submachine guns. For me, that final Alexia fight is the worst fight in the game. It's really bad. You get basically so okay. The first Alexia fight I think is the coolest boss fight in the series so far. I think that shit's dope. She's throwing her blood at you, and it's catching fire, and she's leaving like lines, and you just have to stay away. She's walking really slow, and you just have to stay away from her. I think
I
that's
definitely agree with you
sick.
there.
That's so fucking cool. Her final form, aesthetically very cool. Down with that. Mechanically, one of the worst fights in the series.
Yeah. Aesthetically, she does that xenomorph queen thing where she detaches from the sack.
Yeah.
the
Well,
little
even
egg sack,
before
and
that,
then
I
she
think
kinda
that fight
flies
sucks. But
away.
yes.
But yeah, no, just design wise, I do think that's neat. But yeah, I think it's really funny how like I'm assuming if you don't act fast enough, like when the cutscene ends, she like grabs Claire and kills her. I had
Oh, right. Well, because you have to like shoot her once. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
shot her with the Magnum.
See, okay, you shot her with the Magnum. I had the submachine gun equipped, so I was gonna just unload into her, and it literally did 1 bullet, and then we went to a cutscene.
Yeah,
was
honestly,
really silly.
But that's probably better because I guess technically I like wasted a Magnum bullet on that, but it ended up being fine, so that's whatever. I
Yeah,
never
I
never
don't- I
died
don't
to
know
that
if
part of the boss fight. I did die once to when she was flying and I just couldn't hit her. But that first section I think is actually worse because you're just getting like constantly stun hit by so she has like 3 attacks that she does all at the same time. She's got the tentacle whip thing. She's shooting out
Yes.
these like little shitty bug guys that go at you, and then she's also
Yeah.
spitting acid at you. And 1 or all 3 of those poison you. So by the time you get to the end, you're probably poisoned and you can't actually tell what your health is at, which sucks. And you're just constantly getting hit. So it's just like you're kind of just you can't avoid it. It's everywhere. You just kind of have to mash the shoot button until she dies, which
Yeah.
fortunately worked. But
That's where saving the submachine gun came in handy for me, I assume, because all the little bugs that kept like shooting up their tendrils at me and stunning me, at a certain point I was like, get the fuck off, and I would just shoot down, and I would just start mowing them down like that.
The grenade launcher does a similar thing where if you're close to her when you're doing it, then they get caught up in the explosion too and also die. The Magnum, I'm sure does the most damage, but yeah, that might be not a great weapon to use against her because it doesn't deal with those guys.
I can tell you that like I said, I saved all the Magnum ammo that I found throughout the game for that fight, and the Magnum did not finish her off.
I finished, so I only had I think 12 Magnum bullets in that fight because I had used a full clip earlier on the first form of her, and that took her out. It was 6 magnum bullets and she was done, which was great.
Yeah,
Um,
I would have loved to, but that was another situation where the other character, I didn't have access to it.
That makes sense. But yeah, I think it's so like the villains of the first 3 I think are largely forgettable, with maybe the exception of
Yeah.
Nemesis. Like Nemesis is cool. He's not really a character or anything, but he's cool.
Yeah, okay, so I guess let's run down the villains. So in the
Yeah,
first one, I mean,
it's
general
Wesker.
umbrella shenanigans are
Yeah.
a theme throughout all of it, but then Wesker is the surprise heel turn villain by the end.
Yeah, which is kind of
And he
lame because
makes
he's
you
like not really in the game much. He has like 2 cutscenes and then he gets murdered.
yeah, and he's
So he kind of
not
sucks.
the character that he becomes here
Correct.
yet.
Yeah.
And then we have the Birkins
Slash
in the
Irons,
next
I
one.
guess.
Oh yeah, Irons is a bad guy as well, but
The
almost like a subcategory bad guy.
the Birkins are fine. I wish that we got dialogue from Birkin, whatever his first name is.
When we get, I said this last time we talked about it, but when we get to the RE2 remake, they flesh out the Birkins a lot better.
Good. Yeah, because Annette bothered me. She was annoying because she basically, if you think about it, in the context of both of the stories happening at the same time, she's basically just running back and forth between Leon and Claire and being like, "You killed my husband,"
Yeah.
and just like shooting ineffectively at nobody. It's like, all right, I get it. Okay, ma'am. Please stop. Whereas these guys, I think I mean, they're annoying. They're terrible, but I also love them.
Yeah, and then
Question?
in three, yes, there's Nemesis, but there's also Nikolai.
Oh yeah, I forget Nikolai, which is I guess not a great sign, but
Yeah, he would be the one to forget. I mean, the game is called Nemesis. It's not called Resident Evil 3 Nikolai.
True. And I would argue, I think Nemesis is a really cool design. I think mechanically he's not anything
But
special.
yeah, you know what? I will give the villains of this game their credit. It is very similar. Like you said, 4 was the first one you played. It's your favorite one, probably.
It is, yeah.
It's very similar to like the whole Salazar and the big castle type deal.
Yes, this felt very, maybe not as much as this is gonna. It feels very like tonally similar to 4, but I do think this is more goofy than that.
Yeah,
By like a pretty
it
decent
is
amount.
definitely its own beast.
Although maybe that's just the voice acting doing that. You know what I mean? Like maybe if Alfred and Steve had like decent voice actors, then maybe it feels more serious.
There's a handful of Matrix slow motion moments that also make it goofy.
That is true.
I just remembered the one where Steve jumps through the window dual wielding the Lugers.
Oh my god, he's never been sexier.
I've never seen a man do something so cool but still look so lame at the same time.
Oh my god. I love Steve. He's awful.
Yeah.
He's so dumb.
Let's see. Yeah,
Can we talk about how dunked on Rodrigo is? Like, absolutely sucks to suck if you're Rodrigo.
I forgot
that character
I
existed.
expected him to be more of a character in this than he was, and he wasn't at all.
When he showed up at so he captures Claire at the beginning. So this game, we never actually said, this game starts, Claire is looking for Chris, and that ends up leading her to some facility where she gets captured and then taken to a prison on a mysterious island. And on that island, the person who captured her, Rodrigo, lets her out when the island is under attack because he's like, well, we're all fucked. You may as well go out there and figure out something. Yeah. And so she kind of like, you have this like little rapport where it's like sort of respect a little bit. Like he's still, I think, a bad guy. Like he's working for Umbrella, but so is Carlos, I guess. Yeah. And he's like bleeding out. And so eventually you come back and you give him medicine that'll like help clot his blood. And then you trade him the lighter that Chris gave you for a lockpick, which I think is
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, wait, because Chris eventually comes and gets it back. It's just a way for Chris to be able to use the lighter instead of just giving him his own lighter.
Right. Which is it's fine,
yeah,
I guess.
Chris shows up and this guy is like, my name is Rodrigo. I let your sister out, so you know I'm important to the story. She gave me this. And he's like, she fucking re-gifted my lighter?
That like meant something. And then he gets eaten by Shia LaBeouf. And
I thought he was done. But no, we
Well,
get
he
him out and
was.
then he dies.
Yeah. He gets eaten by the Alaskan bullworm, and then he gets spit out for just long enough to give you the lighter, and then he dies. And it's like, okay, great, wonderful. I kind of thought, because I know like going forward, Chris has his task force, and I was like, oh, is Rodrigo part of that? Nah, his ass is dead.
No.
So I don't know, kind of a bummer, I guess. He seemed like a cool dude, but whatever.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really like about this game
Okay.
is I love how Claire goes through an area and then Chris goes through it, and they're different areas. I love that they are changed.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, for example, Claire's going through the Antarctica base, and then her and Steve try to escape by like tunneling through some stuff, which floods the base, and then that all freezes over.
Because
And
Antarctica.
then Chris gets there, and it's like there's walls broken down, things have exploded,
And you can walk
and
across the ice to get to places
walk
where you
across
couldn't
the
before.
ice. Yeah, that
And
is neat.
I think that's cool. A couple of things I hope we never see going forward in this series, which is going to be a while before we get to the next one, so buckle in, everybody. But a couple of things I hope we never see again are stalker type enemies that you have to kill more than like 2 or 3 times. I think 2 or 3 times is as far as I'm willing to go. I don't want to fight Nemesis 7 times again. I never want to do that.
You know for a fact that by the time we get to 7, we fight the dad.
You do
20
fight the dad
times.
a lot. That is true. And I never want to have a situation where you play as 2 different characters and do the exact same thing, like we did in 2. And I guess technically 1, but like in 2. I never want to do that again.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll throw one more in here. The flying guys. I'm done with them. The birds, the bats, where you can't really do shit about them and they just like fly by and eat your ass. I'm done with them. Never want to see those guys again.
Did you equip your lighter?
No, because by the time I got there, I had traded it for a lockpick.
Oh, that's true. That's not fair when that happens. Then you just have to run.
Yeah. So I also found out, I didn't know at the time. I found out after the fact that if you put on the lighter, the bats won't bother you, which is like not how bats work, but whatever. But it was like, oh, cool. Oh, I don't have it. Great.
Yeah,
Shit.
that was there's been a running thing in each game where there's like a section where there's like little bugs or bats or birds or something where it's just like, just run through. You got to dodge them. Just like, bitch, how?
Yeah. This is the part of the game where we just put damage on you and there ain't shit you can do about it.
Yeah.
So I hope that those 3 things we never really see again. Those are, I think, my biggest general grievances with the franchise at the moment.
General Grievous.
Yes, my general. But I will say, I know that the next... I don't know if there's other like spin-off ones that we're going to do before 4. I don't know the timeline off the top of my head, but obviously 4 is going to be a banger game.
Yeah.
That might be my first 10.
I think before that, Resident Evil 0 comes out.
Oh, true. Yeah, you know what?
June-
Actually, I haven't played 0, so that's another one that I haven't played that's technically part of the main line.
That one, I've played it. I don't think I've ever finished it. Its gimmick is potentially a little stinky, but you know what? We're gonna go for it.
Fair.
But then I think, like, does the RE1 remake come out before Resident Evil 4? I do not remember.
I think it does. I think actually it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be back to Resident Evil sooner than you'd think, but still, it's gonna be a ways away. One thing that I wanted to say that also upset me.
Yes.
Was the fact that, this starts as a Claire game, and then it becomes a Chris game, which is fine because that makes it a Redfield game, and like you said, they're kind of the main characters at least
like
of this portion of the franchise. So that's totally fine. But there was something about how Claire doesn't even participate in the final fight that really rubbed me wrong.
I agree. I think that's lame. And I understand. I think the thought process behind it is that you kind of do the like tropey final section twice where you're like, we got to get out of the base before it explodes, blah, 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 blah. And so like Nosferatu, I guess, is Claire's final boss and Alexia is Chris's final boss. Like, I think that's the thought process. But like, Claire is right there and she's done so much. She is very capable. Yeah. She is a good fighter. I don't love that Chris is like, get on out of here. I got it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
boy.
what pissed me off. It's just like, It's like she came here trying to find you. Now you have to rescue her. So I think even if it was just like an aesthetic thing where it's just like she throws him the gun, like come on, like that seems like such an easy fix.
Or just make it where he fights the big one and then she shoots it with the linear launcher or whatever the fuck. Like
Yeah, there
she
you
gets
go.
like up on a catwalk or something and Alexia flies up and then you shoot her.
There you go.
Like
Maybe
that's kind of
they'll
what I
maybe
thought
they'll
it was going for. Is I because there was the bit where the fight's starting and they like look at the launcher.
yeah, yeah.
And I thought it was going to be like, you go get the rocket launcher that we know from the previous games is the only way to kill these fuckers, and I'll do the boss fight until you have it. Like that's what I thought was going to happen.
Hopefully they fix that in the remake. That's almost certainly happening.
I hope so. Yeah, I think that I haven't played Zero, but yeah, the only ones that they I think could do next would be either Zero, Veronica, or 5, and of those three, currently I would prefer Veronica.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I'll take any of the three, honestly. People seem really gung ho to get 5 a little cleaned up, maybe have it fit the tone of what we've already done a little bit better.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
but
also people who want a remake of 1, which I would also be fine with for the record.
yeah, yes, I agree with that. I do really like the RE remake that we already have,
Mhm.
but to remake it again in the style of RE2 remake and RE3 remake, I think that would be pretty choice.
That'd be cool. For sure.
But I hope before they move on to a remake of 5, I wanted them to do it before they went on to remake 4 because I didn't think 4 needed it that much,
No.
and I still don't.
No, but I
But,
did love it, so.
Yes, no, it's a very good game, but I hope they do Zero and Veronica at least, if not also doing RE1, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean they've got basically a gold mine of potential remakes here. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't foresee them stopping anytime soon. I don't necessarily think that I don't know. It's entirely possible that we get 9 and the next remake like in the same year.
Yeah, I think didn't that happen with
With 8?
3 and 8? I think we had 2 Resident Evil games the same year.
It was
that
either the
time.
same year or it was close. I
Yeah,
do
it
think
may have
that.
been like 6 months apart, but a different calendar year technically.
Something like that, for sure.
Well, one of the last things that I feel like we need to talk about is the secret mastermind, the secret character in this game. Are you familiar? Are you aware?
Yeah, and I didn't think you were, so I put it in the trivia section, but
No. I know him.
You
I
sent
saw
me
him.
you sent me the picture of the guy, and I was like, what does that mean? Because you were ahead of me at that time.
Yeah,
And now I have figured out the joke.
the secret character, Dij.
Yeah. Did you play the battle mode to get that
No.
note? Oh, okay.
I looked up stuff and I know about his journal, so he can write.
He's a very
He can
intelligent
write
rat.
in English. He's very smart. There's a rat that can be seen multiple times in cutscenes throughout the game.
I only
Who's
saw him
spying
twice.
on? He's spying. I was playing, and our friend of the show, Steven, was watching me play. And I was in the area with the evil Nazi scientist guy with the glass eye, right?
Oh, is he there
And
too?
he's in the medicine cabinet. He's just hanging out.
Oh.
And like at the time, we were like, "What is that little? Is there a little stuffed rat in there? What's he doing?" But then shortly afterwards, that's where Wesker shows up.
Right.
And in that cutscene, you could clearly see him there in the bushes. And we both did the Leo DiCaprio point, like, whoa,
Was that rat?
what's going on there?
Yeah, I only saw him twice. I saw him obviously when you let him out of the cabinet above the Nosferatu prison, and then I saw him on the plane when you're fighting Tyrant the second time.
Right.
Those are the only places I saw him.
He's all over the place, man, and he knows.
Yeah.
He's the fact that he got on the plane, but the fact that he, made it to Antarctica to continue watching Claire.
It is
Crazy.
really weird that okay, we should probably talk about it at some point. The Ashford family, right?
Yeah.
The plot of their family is crazy. So their dad, Alexander, is like a failure or something. Like he has in some way like ruined the name of the Ashford family. It's never really clear exactly how, but like apparently they've fallen from grace or something.
Mhm.
And so he takes the DNA of the founder of the family, Veronica, where the name of the game comes from, and
Yeah.
takes her DNA and implants it into presumably his wife, but it just says surrogate mother, to like genetically create Alfred and Alexia.
Hmm.
And then they turn out to be, surprise, super evil,
Hmm.
and they turn him into a monster.
Hmm.
But then Alexia goes even further, and I don't know where the obsession with ants came from. That is
Well,
unclear to me. They just
she
loved it
just liked ants.
forever. They
One
spent
of their
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 life.
favorite childhood activities was plucking the wings off of dragonflies and dropping it into ant colonies to watch it get devoured. And
Which
then
is,
she was like, "These ants are cool. I want to be an ant."
I would love to be an ant, actually. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Um, and she like modifies the disease, the virus that she put into her dad and turned him into a monster, puts it in herself, and then she's like, but I must sleep for 15 years in ice so that it doesn't, so I can like be in control of myself when I'm a
Yeah.
monster, I guess, or
Which
something.
which led her brother Alfred to go a little bananas in her absence and decide to uh go full Norman Bates and dress up as her and talk to himself as her.
Yes. Which he doesn't know he's doing. Has like a full split personality.
Yeah.
He's doing
And
was it glass or
he
whatever?
he definitely wants to smooch his sister.
For sure. Yeah, there's
Like
definitely like an
really,
incest
really
subtext.
hard. Yeah.
The family's crazy. Like there's a lot going on there. Also, this is, hey, finally we got the name drop of the Spencer Mansion. Finally.
Yeah. So I believe the Ashfords and Spencer are 2/3 of the founding members of Umbrella. Like Spencer's obviously the big one because he's the one that we learned goes to the place in 8 and finds stuff. Um, but yeah, then there's the Ashfords, and then the third guy is the villain in 0. So we learn more about him there.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
There's so much lore in this one, and that's like the thing that I love the most about this series is like figuring out the backstory of like Umbrella and all the like super evil families, and so I really enjoyed that here. I'm prepared to get into the rating section, but before we do,
Hmm.
we have to talk about the most iconic voice line in Resident Evil history. We
I
cannot get
can't.
through this whole review and not say it.
Father.
Father. He
I
like
just see
sees
it.
the zombie version of his dad and he has to kill it before it eats Claire. And he's like, I can't.
Would it be too much? Would it be too much homework to ask you to edit in a sound clip of that
No,
here?
I already have it. I can put it in.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Steve? Shoot him!
Wait! I can't! No!
Steve!
Father!
Steve.
100%.
Well, there it was.
There it was. Pretty good,
there was,
huh?
There was our boy Steve. I spent the whole game wishing he would just die, and then when he did, I was like, oh, not like that.
Yeah. I really liked him. Like, he was the worst, but I felt in an endearing way. He was very Jimmy Olsen for me. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. I want a Code Veronica remake Steve Redemption. That's what I want.
Yes.
More than anything.
Yeah. He deserves it. Justice
Mhm.
for Steve.
But he still has to die.
Yes. But also maybe come back in 9. Whoa. Wouldn't that be crazy?
It's a big Hulk.
So, Skylar, that brings us to the final and most important, arguably, a section of our time here.
I would say
Using-
the point.
Using our patented and never stolen review scale, where 10 is a masterpiece, 9 is amazing, 8 is great, 7 is good, 6 is okay, 5 is mediocre, 4 is bad, 3 is awful, 2 is painful, and 1 is unbearable. How are you feeling about Resident Evil Code Veronica?
Okay. Well, let's think back to the scores that we gave the previous ones.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 1 got 8 out of 10 across the board. You gave it, I gave it, and that's our aggregate.
Hmm.
Resident Evil 2, you gave an 8, I gave an 8.5, so that sits at an 8.25.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 3, I gave an 8. I think the aggregate is the score that most reflects that one. I gave an 8, you gave it a 7, it's a 7.5.
Hmm.
This one, I think I'm going to give it a 7. Because there's a lot of this game that I do like, and the lore and the characters are part of that. There's a lot of the gameplay that really irked me. I mean, I feel like I don't know if it should go higher. I'm thinking a 7. What are you thinking?
I'm sort of in the same ballpark. I think, like, on a personal level, I think this might be like my favorite of the 4. Like, I think I enjoy it the most. I don't think it's the best of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think objectively that would be hard to argue. I think
Right.
I think mechanically it feels a little clumsier. But then again, like, I think the survival horror aspects of it feel more survival horror than the other ones. Like, this is the first one that I actually felt at all stressed about my resource management.
You know, something else that we didn't mention is I don't know if it's just because we've played 4 of these games in a row, but I felt the tank controls were the easiest in this one.
I agree. I think the tank controls felt really good in this, but I also, well, not good, but as good as tank controls can feel.
Yeah.
But I also feel like the enemy placement was harder to avoid, so I was ended up
They
getting
definitely
bit a lot more.
definitely dropped a lot more guys. They just want you to fight more guys. Yeah.
So that one I think for me is like maybe kind of a wash.
Also, in Resident Evil 3, we made the groundbreaking advancement of we can just go upstairs.
Yeah,
And
now
now
you
with
did
this,
the button
we're
again.
we're back to hitting the button to go upstairs again. What the hell?
Yeah, that is a weird little thing.
All right, that cancels out the tank control thing that I said.
I think I'm hovering at like a 7.5, but I could be argued in either direction. I think that's where I'm kind of settling in. Is like, for me, this is clearly better than 3. I think this is like for sure a better game than 3. It, like, mechanically, definitely narratively, this might be the strongest one, I think. Maybe not with the voice acting, but like on paper, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And I do think mechanically this game is somehow like less than the sum of its parts, if that makes sense. I think that the story of this is the best story, and I think mechanically the survival horror of this is the best of the series so far. Like, this one this is the one where I actually feel stressed about my resources. But I think, I don't know, maybe it's the areas don't feel quite as exciting, or like maybe it's the voice acting. It doesn't come together to be, it's not as iconic as 2. For sure, it's not. I would have a very hard time arguing, even in myself, that it is a like critically better game than 2. I might be able to argue it's on the same level of 1, but even that's kind of a stretch. Yeah, I think I'm going 7.5. I think for me the perfect score would be like 7.75, but I'm gonna limit myself to half points, and I'm gonna put it at 7.5. That's where I'm at.
So if I stick at 7 out of 10, which I think I'm going to do, that aggregates us at 7.25.
Right, which puts it like a fourth of a point below Nemesis.
It actually, this is the first time we've had to do this. We have a tiebreaker to dispute.
Oh,
7.25 is the same score, same aggregate score that we gave Mario Party 2. Would this go above or below that?
I would put this above Mario Party 2.
I think I would also put this above Mario Party 2.
Yeah, Mario Party 2 is like fun. I enjoy it for the most part, but
let's say that I had caved to the peer pressure and given this a 7.5, just like you.
yeah,
That would then we would still have to tiebreaker it against Perfect Dark. But I still think that this would go below that, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I think I might feel like they would be tough. That would be a really tough one for me. I think I feel very similar about those two. Huh. Yeah, I might put this. I think I would put this below Perfect Dark. I think Perfect Dark is sort of a more complete package. I think that one comes together better in the finality of it.
So then, either way, this sits at the same place on the scoreboard, which is second place for the year.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because it's also that thing, because I know, like, I gave both Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 an 8.
Yeah.
And I stand by that. I think that they're very similar in terms of quality, but I do think that 2 is slightly better. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
those two
And
are
I-
both 8s, but in the strata of 8, 2 is above it.
And I do also think that 2 could have been an 8.5 if it wasn't for having to just play the game twice to beat it.
Yeah. If you made it a little bit more streamlined, like if it was what I am told the remake of it is, then yeah, I would almost
Play it
certainly be a
again,
better
but
game.
yes.
Yeah, for sure a better game. I feel good with that. Was that so? Sorry, that puts Resident Evil Code Veronica our aggregate score at what?
7.25.
I feel good about that.
Which is the score translates to good plus a little more.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I think that that's
Yeah.
very solid. I'm happy with our results.
Yeah, our scoring system it's unbeatable.
Unbeatable.
We're doing great.
It has worked for us every time and will never fail.
Yeah.
And if you think that we will never fail, please tell us how great we are in the comments on Spotify and YouTube, and subscribe to us wherever you are currently listening to us. We really would love to see that number go up. It makes us live one day more every time it happens. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD, or you can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler8bit.
And until next time, everybody, play more games.
Father!
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back in time where pixels and memories intertwine. Come on in, it's time to play. Let's rewind to yesterday. The fun begins, we're here to stay. Ready, set, replay. Come on in, it's time to play. Let's rewind to yesterday.